Hello everybody, it's your immigration attorney Luis Ruiz bringing you another video in our U Visa series. Now today we're going to talk about who qualifies as a victim for the U Visa purposes. Well, the most obvious is a direct victim, right? The person to whom the crime occurred to. So if it's an aggravated assault, the person who was assaulted. If it's a rape, the person who was raped. There's also something called a bystander victim. And a bystander victim will be eligible to apply on their own as long as they can show that they suffered unusually direct injury as a result of the qualifying criminal activity, meaning that the crime did not happen to them. They were just there, they watched, and because of that, they suffered an unusually direct injury. Typically what we see is, the example that goes around is a pregnant woman who suffers a miscarriage or has to go into labor because of seeing this traumatic experience. So somebody is committing an aggravated assault or a robbery with a gun, and a pregnant woman sees and she suffers a miscarriage, or she starts to have some physical showings of an injury, right? So it has to be, or mental, but it has to be an unusually direct, right? Something had to have happened stemming directly from the qualifying criminal activity. That would be a bystander victim. Now, those U visas are pretty difficult, but not impossible. The third option would be an indirect victim. So an indirect victim, by definition, not a direct victim. So it did not happen to them. But an indirect victim would be, for example, some of the cases that we've done is that your child is sexually assaulted. But your child is a U.S. citizen, so they don't need a U visa. Well, if your U.S. citizen child was assaulted, then you can be the indirect victim and you can apply for a U visa based on what happened to your U.S. citizen child. So an indirect victim is not a direct victim. It's not the person to whom it happened to, but by virtue of their relationship with the victim, they are able to apply for the U visa. It does not matter if the child is a U.S. citizen. That does not impede us from applying for the U visa as an indirect victim. So you can be a direct victim, the person to whom the crime happens to, a bystander, someone who it did not happen to you, but you suffered an unusually direct injury as a result of watching the criminal activity. And then there's the indirect victim. The crime did not happen to you, but because your 12-year-old child is the one that it happened to, you are able to apply. Even if your child is a U.S. citizen and they don't need the U visa, you are able to apply as an indirect victim, not through your child, but because of what they went through. So direct, bystander, and indirect victim. As always, I'm your immigration attorney, Luis Ruiz, and I'm here to help. Follow our channel, subscribe, like, and comment so that you can get all the videos in our U Visa series directly to you. You'll get notified and you'll get all the information that you need in order to apply for the U Visa so that you can have that information should you ever need it.